Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're making this beautiful dress you're seeing in this video here, and if you're interested to know how it is made, please stay till the end of the video. We'll show you how to draft, cut and sew for every size and do it by yourself. So thank you, and let's go into making the video. So drafting my pattern. Supplies needed to draft this pattern would be my pattern paper, rollers and my tempo marker. So aside from that, I'll be dividing this drafting into 4 sub parts. So the part 1 will be drafting the main bodies of this dress. So I'll be drawing a straight line of 21 inches, which would be from my neck to the hem of the first hem of the dress. And then I'll be drawing in the neck at 8.5 inches. And then from that point, I will come down 4 inches, which is going to be the armhole, or you can call it the bust line. At the bust line, I'm going to mark my total bust measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches for ease allowance. So I'm going to repeat myself. At that point, I'm going to mark my bust total measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches for ease, since this dress is not a fitted dress. So whatever you get from your own measurement, you mark it at that point. So for me, I got 10.1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to use those 2 lines now to connect and form my armhole. Then at the hemline, I'm going to mark the same measurement I got at the bust line at the hemline. So we are marking there 10.1/4 of an inch. And then we're going to connect the bust line and the hemline together. So at this point, the body of our gown is finished. So we are going to move forward, or we are going to first label it part 1, and then we move on to constructing the sleeves of this dress. So from the armhole, we'll be constructing the sleeves. So at that point, I'm going to measure 7 inches upwards. So from the end of that 7 inches, I am going to measure 12 inches outwards. So that is our 12 inches. Then at the down part of my armhole, I'm going to use 9.5 inches. So this is my measurement. If you want yours to be longer, you can make it longer than what I have here. And then we are going to connect those 2 lines together to form our armhole. So from the armhole outwards, this is our sleeves. So I'm going to measure the part now. I'm going to label it part 2. Part 2. So now we're going to start with part 3. Part 3 would be drafting the tiara. This is the down gathered part of the gown. So this is now the part, now you can see it there. So I'm going to take the full measurement of 98 inches, and then the width of it would be 7 inches. So let's just take, for instance, that this is 98 by 7 inches. So if you're cutting from your fabric, just cut 98 inches times 7 inches, as simple as that. So the part 4 is going to be drafting our belt. So for that, I'm not going to do any diagram here. I'm just going to tell you the diameters. So for this, I'm going to go with the 75 inches for length, and I'm going to go with 2 inches for width. So this is the full measurement of my belt, the length and the width of it. So you can just cut that out. But while we are sewing, you will see what it looks like in the sewing part of the project. So this is everything now. We've gotten our 4 different pattern now. So after this, we're going to cut our pattern, and then we move to the sewing part of the project. So just watch while I cut the pattern, because some people complain that they don't see how I cut the pattern out. So this is why I am putting this side here in this video. So just watch. Now where I'm cutting now is the main body of the pattern. So I'm going to separate the main body from the sleeves. So in case you're drafting your own pattern, you would do exactly as I do. So the next pattern now is the sleeves. And then after the sleeves, we're going to cut the tear part, and then this will be all. And then we'll move to the sewing side. So see you in the sewing part of the video. Now that we finished cutting our pattern, we'll go straight to sewing this pattern together. So we're going to sew it exactly as you see me place here, placing the main bodies and the sleeve together. So let's put this pattern aside and go to sewing our dress now. So pattern aside, let's move on. So for this, I got 2 pieces cut on fold for my main dress. So we're going to spread this now, place our sleeves on the main bodies, pin them together as seen, and then stitch everything together. So just watch what I do now and do exactly like this on your own fabric. So we are going to take this to the sewing machine and stitch all those sides, the 4 sides together. So this is what the finished look looks like. So the neck part of my pattern has been formed, as you can see. Now we're going to spread it to the side of the dress, pin them, and take the 2 sides to the sewing machine and stitch. So please just try to do exactly as I do and make sure your ends meet together, and make sure that the line at the armhole does not jump. So make sure everything lay appropriately, and then when it is done, you take it to the sewing machine and then stitch these 2 sides together. And don't forget to sage, because when I sewed the first time I did not sage, so I'm going to break sage before I join the sides together. So this is what my job looks like at this point. So I finished saging and then sewing the sides together. Next, we are going to bend the neck of this dress. So while you're bending, you're going to consider how thick your elastic is. So for me, my elastic is 1 inch, so I'm going to double that to my elastic is 1 centimeter, so I'm going to bend at 2 centimeters and then sew the whole neck down. preparing the tier and belt for sewing. So first we're going to prepare the tier. As you already know, the tier is 98 inches times 7 inches. So we'll be taking it to the sewing machine and run 2 loose threads on it from the beginning to the end of the tier. So please make sure you run 2 loose threads on them so that you'll be able to gather them at the end of the day. So now we're going to prepare our belt also for sewing, as we have already discussed. So the belt, as you already know, is 75 inches and times 2 inches. So this 2 inches is going to give you 4 inches because you're cutting them on fold. So when you cut 2 inches on fold, it gives you 4 inches. And don't forget to add your sewing allowance. So now this is me on my sewing machine sewing my 2 loose lines. So after sewing this first line, I'm going to sew another line perpendicular to the first one I had. Line. So here is my tier. The part that I ran the 2 lines is going to be the top part, and the other side is going to be the hemline. So I'm going to find the midpoint of the tier and then mark that. I will bring my gown at this point and then find one side of it and then pin the midpoint that I have found on that one side, as you see me do. And then we're going to spread that one side and then we'll start gathering. So we are going to gather until we get to the right amount of the hemline of our gown. So you just have to be very careful. Notice I mentioned that we are going to run 2 loose lines. So those loose lines is going to make it, they are going to make it very easy for me to gather without a hitch. So after gathering, I'm going to make sure that I'm not getting bulge or too much gathering on one side and not at the other. So we just take our time and make sure that the gathers are spread evenly on the down part. And then we'll do the same on the other side also. And then after that is done, we're going to take this to our sewing machine and stitch the down part to the main body of our dress. So just take your time to share and make sure everything is even. So now I'm satisfied. I am satisfied with what I have now, so I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and then I'll sew. But before I do, I'm going to join the side first. That side, I'm going to join it first before I sew round. So now let's go to the sewing machine and do it. So this is how the project looks like at this point. Next, we're going to take the final hemline to our sewing machine and then we're going to bend the hemline, and that is the end of the project. Thank you so very much for staying with us, and I hope you like what we did today. Catch you in the next. Cheers. Thank you so much, and catch you.